cars have made me want to come back for more than this 2011 Lotus Elise SC Roger Becker edition. You know, Roger Becker was a legend at Lotus. He spent over 40 years of his career with them, crafting the famous Lotus DNA. Light, small, mid-engine, balanced, and frankly, just plain fun cars. If you looked up driver's car in my book, there would be a feature on the Lotus Elise. As a historic British racing brand, few cars are better engineered. Roger was a big part of that, and was so beloved both at Lotus and in the car community, they named this line of final US production cars after him. And yes, Roger drove a Lotus Elise.
Hey everyone, my name is Adam and welcome to Driven Nashville. So I'm always excited when I get to do a review, and today we have a 2011 Lotus Elise SC Roger Becker edition. This car is an Aspen White. It is the only Roger Becker Lotus Elise in the country. It is a one-of-one car, and I gotta say I have almost fallen in love with this car. It's going to be very hard to give this away to the next owner. It is currently for sale. Link in the description to the dealership. Of course, feel free to message me. I'll be happy to connect you. But this is one of my most favorite cars because it has such amazing usable power. 218 horsepower from an inline 4 Toyota 2ZZ engine. It's mid-engine. It's got forged wheels. It's got just the right amount of braking. The suspension is dialed in. I gotta say, if you are a driver, if you enjoy 6-speed manuals, if you can get over getting in and out of this car, you're gonna find this to be one of the best driver's cars in the world. I absolutely love driving it, the way it sounds, shifting through the gears. It's a really good time. So in this video, we're gonna show you the interior, we're gonna show you the exterior, do a lot of B-roll shots, do some driving shots, and I'll give you some of my impressions on it. And please like and subscribe, and I really appreciate, we do comment on, we see all your comments, and yeah, thanks for checking the video out, guys. On to the next clip. You know, for a 2011 vehicle, this is still one of the best looking cars I've ever seen. I mean, look at the headlights, look at the rear diffuser, and you'll see here down in the B-roll, you also can get this incredible single exhaust pipe that they put in there. It just looks really good. Has one of the best back ends on any vehicle. Now, it does have a little bit of trunk space back here, so you can put a weekend bag, but to be honest with you, this is not the car you want to take a nice long trip in. Now, one of the best selling points of this car is that it has a Toyota powered engine. Being a 2ZZ engine, it's very reliable. You could easily put 100, 200, 300,000 miles. This is essentially the same engine they put in Celicas. Now, another thing that's nice about this engine is that it revs. So it has over an 8,000 RPM red line, so you can just run it out. It does have a cam shift over as well, so if you full throttle the vehicle at 4,000 RPMs, it'll go ahead and shift the cams, and if you don't do that and you just kind of lay into the throttle gradually, it'll shift over at 6,000 as well. Overall, it's one of the most enjoyable things about this vehicle is just pushing the engine. It's pretty much bulletproof, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about being in traffic. It's never gonna overheat. It's definitely amazing. Now, they did install a supercharger on this car, which adds about 40 pounds of torque and gives it a total of 218 horsepower. For a car this light, trust me, it's plenty of power. Now, it can always use more horsepower, don't get me wrong, but out of the box, it's 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. When we do the driving portion here in a minute, you're gonna see it's plenty fast. So guys, this is absolutely a collector grade car in my personal opinion. It only has 2,600 miles. As you'll see in this B-roll shot, it has 3 keys, it has the window sticker, the manuals, you name it, right? The interior on the Lotus is on the Spartan side, I'm just gonna be honest. It does have really comfortable bucket seats, and you do have to get over this very wide sill to essentially get in, right? This is going to protect you in the event you do ever have a crash. You know, McLaren has this, they have the carbon tub, right? But this is not carbon, but it is part of the Lotus. It's all aluminum. It's just part of the design of the vehicle to protect you in the event of a worst case scenario. But as you can see, it's got a Momo steering wheel. It's got very, very Spartan interior. This particular one, because it is a special edition, it does have the radio and it does have the air conditioning, which is nice, but some of the Lotuses don't even feature that. I mean, you can get this car to be a very hardcore racer, race-inspired vehicle. Now another thing that's cool about this particular car is the hardtop does come off. There's 2 bolts in the back, 2 bolts in the front, 2 bolts in the middle, and 3 bolts in the front. So if you remove all those, the roof just lifts off. And then there is a basically a tarp that you can also put. It's in the back right now, just in case you do happen to get caught in the rain. It's much easier to get in and out of this car with the top removed, I will tell you that. I'll also say that getting in and out of the car is a very interesting, challenging part. And it's probably the only drawback of the vehicle in my personal opinion. You know, because it's mid-engine, because it's obviously a driver-focused car and they give you this big chassis to sit in, it protects you. The downside is you do have to get in and out very gingerly. So being 6 feet tall and having the roof installed makes it an extra challenge. In order to do it, you put your first leg in, and then you want to go ahead and slide down. That's really the only way to do it. When you're in the car, you can go ahead and put your first leg down into the steering wheel. Now, I will tell you, if you buy an Elise, you're probably going to get a little bit of damage here because I don't care who you are, it's very challenging to get in and out of this. This is just an inexpensive plastic piece, so it's easy to replace if you want. This car does have a little bit of damage just from people getting in and out. You know, it's only got 2,600 miles, so if you only average 26 miles a trip, you only had to get in and out of it 100 times, but still, that's 100 times of being very cautious, and it's tricky. Now, I will say, once you get in the car, plenty of headroom. You know, you have the ability to adjust the seats forward and back. Everything's manual, of course. They didn't want to waste any weight on any electronics, but plenty of headroom, plenty of room here, plenty of room for your legs. Now, I will say, if you have a passenger, and he's a big guy like me, he's gonna be right next to you. Keep that in mind, you're gonna probably be touching. But overall, if you have just you and your wife, it's quite a comfortable interior, plenty of leg room, plenty of headroom. So from that point of view, it's nice. So when you do finally get in the Lotus and you're comfortable, you wanna go ahead and look at the key, because this has an immobilizer button. And it's kind of one of the interesting features of this car. And if you didn't know to push this button when you start it, you ain't gonna go anywhere, let me tell you that. And I've learned that the hard way. So to start the car, you wanna go ahead and put your foot on the brake, put your foot in on the clutch, turn it to the on position. You wanna go ahead and hit that immobilizer button, and that'll go ahead and take the light off. And then you wanna come over here, push the start button. And she's all ready to go. Okay, so we go for a drive. So the first thing you're gonna notice immediately is the steering. It's not electric, it's not hydraulic, right? It's not that heavy, to be honest with you, but there's no power steering. So when you're in a parking lot and you're going to turn the wheel, just keep in mind, it's not exactly light. But beyond that, it's extremely easy to drive. Because it's a Toyota engine and it's got the Toyota gearbox, it's very easy to shift, it's very easy to row the gears. It's just an enjoyable car to drive. And it's fast, as you're about to see. We're just gonna get out of the neighborhood here, but try to listen to it for a second. I mean, I'm telling you guys, there are a few cars that you're gonna have more fun in than a Lotus Elise. Damn, this car is great. Listen to that. Oh, it's so good. You know, if you did what I just did, which is full throttle in just about any other car, especially a modern car today, you'd be doing 100 plus. Now, this car by any means is not slow, but the beauty of it is you could use the power. It's actually usable. I mean, I gotta say, it's like a 600cc motorcycle versus a 1000. The 1000 is gonna, of course, smoke everything on the road, but it goes so fast, so quick, it's almost not that fun. This, on the other hand, I mean, I'm having a blast. Yeah, I might not be doing 130 miles an hour after I've gone, you know, full throttle. That's full throttle. There is no cruise control. I will say, just real quick, you can see here, It's very precise. Like, there's very little give, if any, give in the steering wheel. That goes back to the adult go-karting experience this car is going to give you. And one other fun design language too is there's only one wiper blade. Oh, it's fun. So I'll talk about one more thing on camera. So the power band in this car comes on in the high RPMs. So this is not a V8, right? It doesn't have a turbocharger, so it doesn't have a lot of low-end grunt. What that means is, like right now, I'm in 5th gear, I'm doing about 50 miles an hour, and I'm doing about 3,000 RPMs. I'm gonna go ahead and do full throttle in about 3 seconds, so you can see it doesn't just immediately go anywhere, right? So again, 5th gear, that's full throttle. Now I'm doing 60, now I'm doing 70, now I'm doing 80, okay? So, very little torque, you know, I mean, it has some, okay? You can research the torque figures, right? But what you really want to do, as I showed earlier, is you want to go ahead and keep the revs up. So I'm going to do that same pull now, but now I'm going to do it in 3rd at 40, right? So now I'm doing 50, 60, 70, 80, see what I mean? So when you're in the higher RPM band and this thing just screams, you're not gonna think of it as a slow car, let me tell you. I mean, 2 guys, both pretty large guys, and this thing is just flying, right? It's a great time, guys, I'm telling you. You're gonna love this car. If you get a chance to drive a Lotus Elise, it's probably one of the best driver's cars ever made, honestly. I mean, I don't know what else you'd want from, you know, just a fun mid-engine, small, light, sporty car. It's really hard to beat. So to conclude this video, I gotta say I love the Lotus DNA, I love the Elise, I love that it has usable power. You know, in a world where you have 500, 600, 700 horsepower cars, having a 220 horsepower car that is light is just such a fun detour from everything else on the market. And if you're looking for something that's exotic and exclusive, you're not gonna find anything more exclusive than this. I mean, there are more Lamborghini SVJs rolling around than there are Roger Becker edition Lotus Elise SCs. Let me tell you that right now. But bottom line though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've really enjoyed spending time with this vehicle and showing it to you. You know, it's a $62,000 MSRP car. The values of these are starting to rise, especially this particular one. It is currently for sale. It's currently listed for $74,900, and I gotta say, it'll probably go quick. But if you are one of the lucky ones to get to enjoy this car and track it or whatever you plan on doing with it, you're not gonna be disappointed. The one thing that I would do if I owned this car is I would go ahead and open up that exhaust. And I would also go ahead and put a custom air intake on it. And that's probably all it needs. That's it. Because then when you get on that open road and you lay into that gas, oh, you are gonna really enjoy the experience. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next review.